The creativity fog the FPS genre has been stumbling through for the last 15 years is starting to lift. And all it took was an acid, coke, and peyote injection straight into our eyes. A neon-heavy, ultra-violent manga come to life, like a mashup of No More Heroes, Shadow Warrior, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Tokyo Underground Killer is coming. It's bloody, and it wants to deliver one message to the FPS market.
You ain't got no style, motherfucker.
In Tokyo Underground Killer, we'll be playing as Kobayashi, a deadly assassin, who uses supernatural abilities fueled by the blood of his victims. These mystical abilities, like all good vampire-like superpower tropes go, also act as a curse. Kobayashi needs to constantly feed himself or he dies. Personally, it sounds like a fantastic game mechanic that forces players to keep up the violence and momentum. To help separate our enemies from their T-cells, we'll get access to 13 blood skills, 7 weapons, and a razor-sharp sword. I've said it before, but I'm not a fan of first-person melee combat. Swinging is not like shooting, and pressing buttons to do it in a game doesn't feel right. We'll see how the sword combat handles. With that said, the baddies we'll be massacring across Tokyo all roll in a group, the Flatliners. And like any crew of flunkies, it looks like we'll be assassinating their bosses along the way. Sounds a lot like Kill Bill. But there's one huge problem if you haven't caught on yet. Tokyo Underground Killer is a first-person shooter slasher coming out of Japan, specifically, Osaka. And if you know anything about Japan and FPSs, stop watching if you're sensitive. I have no idea why, but Japan's attitude toward first-person action games has always been like Infinity Ward's attitude toward fan feedback.
I don't give a fuck.
Japan's ultimate contribution to the first-person action experience to date has been something like Gundam. Clunky, flat, boring, and about 15 years behind the design curve of the industry. But Tokyo Underground Killer looks like Japan's finally learning. The developer, Phoenix Game Productions, is not only developing and publishing this title, but they're also co-developing Phantom Fury alongside Slipgate Ironworks. If you haven't seen it yet, Phantom Fury is a throwback 90s nostalgia-laced FPS based in the Ion Fury universe. It's another game that has a solid vision of what it wants to be and doesn't compromise. Its developer is a studio out of Denmark and its publisher is one of gaming's OGs, 3D Realms, the company that's had its hands in gaming classics like Duke Nukem, Sin, Max Payne, Shadow Warrior, and more. Back to Tokyo. The Osaka-based developers are definitely rolling with the right people. And to strengthen the East meets West bond, they recruited 2 Western talents. The devilishly stylish in-game storyboards are being drawn by Hans Steinbach, a German comic book artist who styles himself after manga. And the soundtrack is being produced by none other than Andrew Hulshult, the same dude responsible for the blood-pumping symphonies of Doom Eternal and the recent Proteus. Here's hoping Phoenix engineers the soundtrack to slap with the gameplay. There's definitely a Beat Saber vibe coming from the slasher elements of the game. We'll see how Tokyo Underground Killer turns out. The industry needs more of these games that completely nail a unique and coherent universe. Hopefully, this game doesn't go the way of Hotline Miami though. Phoenix needs to bring some depth to the game or it's gonna fizzle out quickly. So what do you guys think? Smash or pass on this one? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to give the vid a like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, stay cool, gentlemen.